Hey everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and I'm super excited you're here with us today.
Hi, friends. I'm Julia, your co-host. Whether you're walking, cooking, or just relaxing, thank you for joining us. Today's episode is going to give you a big confidence boost.
That's right. Today's topic is called Start Speaking Now, Fix Your Mistakes Later. And trust me, this one is really important for anyone learning English.
So many people wait. They wait to speak until they think their English is perfect. But here's a secret. We all make mistakes. And that's how we learn.
Yes, in this episode, we're going to talk about why it's okay, even good to make mistakes when you speak English, and how speaking now is the key to getting better fast.
We'll also give you easy tips to start speaking more today, even if you're alone, and even if you're shy.
So if you've ever felt scared to speak English or worried about sounding wrong, this episode is just for you.
And before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new episode. And if you enjoy this podcast, please share it with a friend who's learning English too.
All right, ready to stop waiting and start speaking? Let's go. So, let's start with something real. A lot of English learners don't speak, even if they know a lot of words. Julia, why do you think that happens?
Oh, I've seen this so many times. One big reason? Fear. People are afraid to make a mistake. They think, what if I say it wrong? Or what if people laugh at me?
Yes, that fear is so common. I remember one student who said she felt like everyone was judging her accent. But you know what? Most people aren't judging. They're just happy you're trying to speak.
Exactly. But in school or in public, we sometimes feel pressure to sound perfect. And that pressure makes us quiet. We hold back.
It's true. People often say things like, I'm just not ready yet. But if you wait until you're ready, you'll wait forever.
And honestly, speaking a new language is a little scary at first. I remember when I was learning Spanish, I was so nervous to say even simple things like, "Where is the bathroom?"
Ha ha. Same here with French. I once said something totally wrong in a cafe, and the waiter just smiled and helped me. I survived, and I learned from it.
That's the thing. Most people are kind. They're not expecting perfect English. They just want to understand you, and they will, even if you make small mistakes.
So if you feel scared, shy, or nervous, just know you're not alone. And it's totally normal.
Yes, but don't let fear stop you, because the only way to get more confident is to speak more.
Well said. All right, next, we're going to talk about what happens when you wait to be perfect before speaking. Spoiler, it doesn't help you grow.
So, Jason, earlier you said something really important. If you wait until you're perfect, you might wait forever. Let's talk more about that.
Yeah, let's break it down. Many learners think, I'll speak when I know more grammar, or I'll talk when my pronunciation is better. But the truth is, that day never really comes.
Right, because the more you wait, the more pressure you feel. You start thinking, now I really have to speak perfectly, and that pressure just keeps growing.
Exactly. And guess what happens? People lose confidence. They know the words. They understand English. But they don't trust themselves to speak.
I had a friend like that. She studied English for 3 years. She could write essays, read books, but when someone asked her a simple question like, "How are you?" she froze.
Wow, yeah. That happens a lot. And here's the sad part. When you don't speak, you miss out. You miss the chance to make new friends, ask questions, or even get better job opportunities.
And even worse, you miss the chance to learn from your mistakes. Speaking is how we grow.
Exactly. If you're waiting for perfect, you're holding yourself back. Progress comes from action, not from waiting.
So if you're listening right now and thinking, maybe I should wait a little longer, don't. Start now. Even one small sentence a day is better than silence.
All right, up next, we'll show you why making mistakes is not a bad thing. In fact, it's the secret to getting better faster. Okay, let's be real. Nobody becomes fluent in English without making mistakes. It's just not possible.
Yes, making mistakes is not a sign of failure. It's a sign that you're trying, and that's how learning happens.
You know what this reminds me of? Think about how children learn to speak. Do they say everything perfectly from the start?
Ha ha ha, not at all. Kids say the funniest things. Like instead of I went, they say I goed. But no one laughs at them. We smile, correct them gently, and they learn.
Exactly. So, if a child can make mistakes and learn, so can you. That's how our brain works. It needs feedback. It needs trial and error.
You know, when I was learning German, I once said something totally wrong in a shop. I mixed up the word for bread and bride. I said, I want to buy a bride.
Ha ha! Oh no! That's hilarious. But see? You remember it because it was funny. That mistake helped you never forget the right word.
Totally. That's what people don't realize. Mistakes are like little teachers. They help you remember, grow, and improve.
And the good news is, most people are understanding. They'll help you. Or they'll just smile and keep talking. No one expects you to sound like a native speaker.
Right. So if you're worried about being perfect, don't be. Be proud that you're speaking at all. That's a big step.
So remember this: mistakes progress. Every mistake you make is a step forward, not backward.
Beautifully said, Jason. Coming up next, we'll talk about why speaking early and often is one of the best things you can do to become fluent faster. All right, let's talk about one of the biggest secrets to learning English faster. Speak early and speak often.
Yes, speaking often, every day, even just a little, is like exercise. The more you do it, the stronger and more confident you get.
That's right. It doesn't have to be long conversations. Even saying small sentences like I am going to the market or today I feel happy helps build your speaking muscles.
Exactly. The earlier you start speaking, the more comfortable you get. Don't wait until you think you're ready. Just start with what you know.
You'll be surprised how fast you improve. I once had a student who only knew basic English, but she practiced speaking out loud every day for 5 minutes. In 3 months, boom! Her confidence was amazing.
I love that. And she didn't wait for perfect grammar. She just started, and she kept going. That's the power of speaking often.
It also helps your brain connect words faster. When you speak regularly, you stop translating in your head. The words start to come naturally.
That's such a good point. When you only read or listen, your brain understands. But when you speak, your brain gets used to producing English. That's real fluency.
So true. And speaking out loud, even when you're alone, is one of the best things you can do. We'll talk more about that soon.
Yes, we've got a section coming up just on speaking alone. But remember, this speaking early builds confidence. Speaking often builds fluency.
That's the magic formula. Early plus often equals success in English.
Next up, let's talk about how you can practice speaking even if you don't have a partner. This part is super helpful, so stay with us. So now the big question is, how can I start speaking if I don't have anyone to talk to? Well, the good news is, you can practice speaking on your own.
Yes, and it's easier than you think. You don't need a classroom or a conversation partner to get started. You just need your voice and your motivation.
Let's go through a few super simple ways. Anyone can start speaking right now, no matter where they are.
All right, number 1, talk to yourself in English. It sounds funny, but it really works. Say what you're doing like, I'm making tea or I'm going outside.
Exactly. Describe your day. Talk about your plans. Even just speaking a few short sentences every morning helps build your confidence.
Tip number 2, Read out loud. Take a book, a short article, or even your English notes, and read them out loud slowly. Focus on pronunciation.
That's such a good one. And it helps train your mouth to get used to English sounds. You can even record yourself and listen back.
Yes, that's tip 3, record your voice. This helps you hear your mistakes and improve your pronunciation. Plus, it's fun to listen later and see how much better you've become.
Tip 4. Shadow native speakers. This means listening to short sentences, like in a video or podcast, and repeating them right after, like an echo.
I love this method. It helps with rhythm, tone, and natural speaking. You can pause, repeat, and even copy their emotion and style.
And finally, tip 5. Use apps or online tools where you can speak with a chatbot or practice pronunciation. Even a voice translator can be a good speaking buddy.
Yes, technology makes it easier than ever. And remember, don't worry about mistakes. Just focus on speaking something every day.
Even if it's just for 2 or 3 minutes. Speaking daily builds a habit, and habits create results.
So wherever you are right now after this podcast, say something in English, even one sentence. That's how you begin.
Coming up next, we'll talk about the right mindset you need to keep going when you feel nervous or stuck. You don't want to miss this part.
Let's be honest, making a mistake while speaking English can feel really uncomfortable, right?
Oh yeah, you might feel embarrassed, shy, or even want to stop speaking completely. But here's the truth. Mistakes are normal.
Absolutely. Everyone makes them, even native speakers. The key is to not take it personally. A mistake doesn't mean you're bad at English. It just means you're learning.
Think of it like this. When a baby falls while learning to walk, we don't say, "Oh no, this baby will never walk." We smile and say, "Try again."
I love that example. So when you say something wrong, just think, oops, learning moment, laugh a little, correct it if you can, and move on.
And don't forget, most people are kind. They're not judging you. They're impressed that you're learning a new language. That takes courage.
Exactly. If someone corrects you, say thank you. If you forget a word, just describe it. Say the thing for cutting food if you can't remember knife. It's totally okay.
One simple tip I like is to say, "I'm still learning English." It lets people know you're trying, and it helps them be more patient and supportive.
So next time you make a mistake, smile and keep going. Because every mistake is making you better, not worse.
And coming up next, we'll share one of the biggest secrets, how real fluency comes from doing, not just studying. Stay with us. All right, friends, we've shared a lot today, but if you remember just one thing, let it be this: just speak.
Yes, don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait until your grammar is flawless. Don't wait until you feel 100% ready, because the truth is you'll get better by doing it.
Exactly. Speaking is like learning to ride a bike. You can watch videos, read books, and listen to podcasts, but one day, you just have to get on and ride.
And yes, you might fall a little, you might mess up, but you'll also move forward, and that's how progress happens.
So today, after this podcast, we challenge you. Say one thing in English. Talk to yourself. Repeat something from this episode. Record your voice. Just do something, because action builds confidence.
You've got this. We believe in you. And remember, the only way to speak English is to start speaking English.
Thanks for joining us today on the English Learning Podcast. We'll see you in the next episode. But until then,
Thanks so much for spending time with us today. We're really proud of you for listening, learning, and taking steps to speak English better.
yes, and remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be brave enough to start. Every word you speak brings you closer to fluency.
And we're here with you on this journey. Keep listening, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself.
Make sure to subscribe, share this podcast with a friend, and leave us a comment. Tell us how you plan to start speaking today.
Until next time, stay confident, stay curious, and most of all,